What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of the Upper Cervical Corner with Dr. Kramer. B.J. Palmer, the developer of chiropractic, is famously quoted for stating, "Get the idea, all else follows." And I think we have a major problem with the understanding of what chiropractic is and what chiropractic is not, as it pertains to you, the consumer of chiropractic. Far too often we have this general confusion because there's a wide diversity of people doing things underneath the chiropractic window, right? And so I would like to use our time today to clarify what chiropractic is, what chiropractic is not. You see, too often we have so many complex variables that we really never know what works when we go to the chiropractor. Maybe it's today's version of, stem and ice from the 1990s, which is now softwave therapy, right? You log on to wonderful Facebook and you get an ad from your local chiropractor to come in and try this new technology, softwave. It's going to save your life. Or maybe it's come in for our red light therapy or our cryotherapy or our sauna therapy or, this therapy and that therapy. And all of us are wondering, well, where did the umbrella of chiropractic collapse? Where did it fall apart? Because none of those things are chiropractic. Now, not to say that they can't be beneficial, because they can, right? I love fitness. I love hacking fitness. I love the idea of a sauna with heat shock proteins. I love cold plunging because of the development of the cold shock proteins and the autonomic benefits we get. However, that is not something that is under the chiropractic umbrella. Neither is this idea of treating pain or treating symptoms, right? Which can get a little bit confusing because we have been indoctrinated by the Western medical paradigm and pharmaceutical government-run agencies to think that if we have a symptom, we need a specific treatment. However, 9 times out of 10, the proposed intervention never really works without some kind of side effect, right? If you got migraines, you get Nurtec, you get fatigue, you get dizzy, tired, sleepy, right? If you take meclizine for vertigo or nausea, all of a sudden you're going to be comatose the rest of the day, right? Problems, side effects. However, when we approach the premise of what chiropractic is, the idea is incredibly simple. Remember, we have to get the idea, right? And the premise of chiropractic is threefold. Number one, the human body is a self-healing organism when it is allowed to operate free of an interference into the neurological system. Number two, if there is interference to the neurological system, it can be measured, it can be quantified, and its location is definitely in the upper cervical spine. It's not in C5, it's not in T2, it's not in L4, L5. The neurological organization and coordination of the human body is built upon C1 and C2. All the rest of that is sprinkles on a cake, right? So we have to know that number one, it's a self-healing organism. If interference is present, it's located in the upper cervical spine. And number three is that if you remove said interference with a specific upper cervical adjustment, you will restore premise number one by allowing the body to utilize the coordinated effort of the neurological system to ensure all of the organ systems are working together in harmony to develop for you the expression of health. You see, too often we are sold this idea of, hey, have you tried Rinvoq? If you need Rinvoq for your plaque psoriasis, it's just 1 pill a day, right? And you can include side effects of bleeding out your ass and dying, right? But guess what? I have expression of health, 1 pill a day. This is utter nonsense. This is crazy, right? The idea here is that you should be adjusted when interference is present, and then make sure that that interference is kept away, right? That is the simplicity of this idea. And the idea should create a very harmonious and stable environment. Now, does that mean you're going to hold this thing for years on end? Absolutely not. We live in the Western world. We drive in traffic. We subject ourselves to stress. We watch videos on YouTube. We sit at a desk and we work for 8 hours a day, right? All of these things are small hinges that swing big doors for our health. So often I hear people talk about, hey doc, I've never had any trauma. I've never had anything happen, but all of a sudden I've developed vertigo over the last 5 years and these migraines have gotten out of control and my brain fog is terrible and I don't know why. Okay, well, Susie, what do you do for work? Well, I sit at a desk and I do desk work, right? And I sit at the computer and I'm there 8 hours a day and I very rarely get up. I don't move. My life is, consisted of sitting in traffic for 45 minutes to the office. I work for 8 hours a day. I sit 45 minutes on the way home. I sit on the couch. I watch some Netflix. And on the weekend, I tend to hang out with my friends, right? And as a result, we wonder why our health is collapsing. Remember, the goal here is simple. And the goal here is to get the idea. Small hinges swing big doors is a really good statement because you have to get the little things right every single day in order to build momentum for the expression of health. One of my favorite paradigms I love to talk about is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt broke the 100 and 200 meter sprint record in 2008, and he never ran that time again. Nobody has ever run that time again. That was one moment in time. That was sub 10 seconds and sub 20 seconds. And then after that, it's over. However, we have this idea that Usain Bolt walks around with the ability every single day to run a sub 10 second 100 meter sprint and a sub 20 second 200 meter sprint. And maybe he can, right? But if he doesn't put in the work for sustaining that ability, it will slowly go away and slowly degrade. The same is true with your health. If you do not put in the effort every single day, over time, you will create and sustain an environment of disease. This is why we have so much confusion about chiropractic. Too often, we are throwing all these variables at us, and it doesn't tell us which way to go. What is the right decision? What is the right path? This is why upper cervical care is the gold standard for the example of what chiropractic is and what it is not. We honor the intelligence of the human body, and we understand that it is a self-healing organism when operating free of interference. We not only can quantify that interference with computerized infrared thermography, we can show you presence of the interference with either a cone beam CT or with a complete three-dimensional digital upper cervical X-ray series. And then we can provide the specific chiropractic adjustment, whether that is with your hand or whether that is with an instrument. And then we can check all of those factors to make sure that that interference has been removed, that you have momentum swinging towards the door of health that will allow you over time to express optimal health, right? For lack of a better term, meaning a symptom-free environment in which you can go about doing the things that you love. Nothing is more simple than that paradigm, right? It's not about, hey doc, my right hip with my left thoracic and my right rib and my left this and my right that, and hey, let me get my elbow, my ears, and my jaw, my da. That's too much. The body is simple. It has a master control system called your brainstem. It's located in your upper cervical spine. When that upper cervical spine has proper biomechanical movement, your neurological system will operate as efficiently as it was designed to do, and thus create for you the expression of health. Get the idea, and all else follows. Stop the chiropractic confusion. Upper cervical is the gold standard. If you need help finding an upper cervical doctor, uppercervicalcare.com. Type your zip code in, give one of us a call, and we are glad to help you start this journey to reclaiming your health with the simplicity of what chiropractic is.